Hey friends, are you unemployed right now because of the coronavirus? And if so, are you worried that this time of unemployment is going to be used against you for public charge purposes? Meaning, will the government label you a public charge because you're unemployed right now under this coronavirus pandemic? That's the topic that I'm going to focus on in this video, and I'm going to provide my tips on the right kind of evidence that you should be gathering right now to prove that you will not become a public charge down the road. Stay tuned. Friends, thanks for watching this video. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey. I'm an immigration lawyer in New York, and we work with clients all over the world. And I'm also the founder of Smart Immigration Academy, which you guys need to check out because the Academy is where I do my live Q&As every week with the members and go through their questions and teach them additional stuff. So I'm going to put a link to the Academy below. Check us out. Now, let's get straight to it, friends. If you are unemployed, you're facing a real tough time right now, right? Millions and millions of Americans are also unemployed because of the coronavirus, though a lot of them have already applied for unemployment benefits. Now, you might be out there and you're thinking, Latoya, I've seen your video on unemployment benefits for immigrants. And in that video, you said that I've got to have an employment authorization document, an EAD, otherwise known as the work permit. I've got to have that, and I have to have a Social Security card in order to apply for unemployment benefits. And I have those things, and I did apply for unemployment benefits, but now the issue is I'm really worried that down the road when my wife and I go in for my green card interview, how is it going to look? How is it going to look to the government? Am I going to be labeled a public charge because I've been unemployed, right? And so that's what I'm going to talk about right now. So friends, it's quite possible that any period of unemployment can be used against you. And remember with public charge that the government will be sizing you up based on those 5 factors, right? Your age, which is all about your employment history. So your age, your income, assets, resources, your education, skills, your health, and your family size. So the government is going to be looking at all of those things about you to determine whether you're likely to become a public charge in the future. And so if you have a period of unemployment on your record, it can negatively impact you in the totality of circumstances, right? Meaning that the government can say, well, you don't have any income, you're not self-sufficient. So let's break it down. What can you actually do, practically speaking? What can you do to change the narrative, to change the story about you so that you can move away from this negative image of you or story of you with this unemployment to a story that you can share with the government about the fact that despite your unemployment, you're not going to be a public charge. So that's what we're going to tackle right now. So the first thing that I would say to you is that if you have an EAD, a Social Security card, and you were working lawfully, but you got laid off because of the coronavirus, that's the story you're going to tell the government. And here's how you're going to do it. The first thing that you're going to need to do is gather evidence related to the coronavirus pandemic. So the type of evidence that I'm referring to in this one, friends, and I have my laptop in front of me here, the type of evidence that you're going to need to pull together is general information that is out there that you could find on Google, and it's information about the lockdown order. Perhaps your state had issued a lockdown order that said that non-essential workers or non-essential businesses should be shut down for a period of time. So if any news clippings related to the lockdown, you can print out. Secondly, if there's any news about layoffs in your city, you could pull together those reports as well about the layoffs that occurred in your city or wherever you are. And so that's one piece. The second type of evidence that you can pull together is evidence about your specific job. So for example, when you were laid off, Did you get an email from your boss or supervisor? Did you get a letter from HR telling you that they're going to have to lay you off? Do you have any paperwork from your employer about your layoff? If so, that's good evidence as well. Also, if you had applied for unemployment benefits and you had to pull together documents for that, also provide evidence that you sought unemployment benefits during this time. It's not a secret, nothing to hide. It won't be held against you for public charge purposes. Your unemployment benefits will not be held against you. But what will be held against you, as I've said earlier, is the fact that if you're unemployed and you're not earning an income, that's a negative factor for public charge. So now, the third type of evidence, friends, that you can pull together is evidence to show that you are actually looking for a job. You're actively seeking employment. And so what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to pull together the job applications that you may have filled out, job announcements that you saw online, whether it was on Indeed or Idealist or Monster.com. That's if Monster.com is still out there. I don't even know. But job announcements, what are the jobs that you had actually applied for? Pull together those announcements. If you've had interviews and you and the employer were emailing each other about your interview date and time and what you need to submit, also print out copies of those emails as well if you have those emails, and just any other documentation that you may have to show that you were on the job hunt. You were out there looking. You were not just home collecting unemployment and that was it. No, you were seeking employment. And actually, just so you know, friends, if you've applied for unemployment benefits, most states, that's the requirement. There is a requirement that you should be actively seeking employment. And certainly under this environment, right, this pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, finding a job is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So the government will understand that, but you've just got to show that you are actively out there, you're interviewing, you're applying, and any evidence you could pull together to show that you're actively seeking employment, that will be a plus. Now, the last thing, friends, that I would say that you would need to submit is an explanation, a written explanation or declaration from you stating that you were working, you were earning X amount of dollars, talk about what you did at your job, and then talk about the fact that you were laid off due to the coronavirus, and indicate when you were laid off and indicate that you've been actively seeking employment, and talk about the places where you may have applied to or interviews that you've gone on. Just tell the government your explanation of what happened during this period of unemployment and what you were doing. Also, in that explanation, talk about the skills that you have. This is a place where you can really brag about yourself. What skills do you have? What skills make you employable? Why should someone hire you down the road? Talk about any occupational skills that you do have, any certifications that you have, and explain that with your skills, with your background, your experiences, and all of that, you expect to get another job very soon. You expect that when this virus passes, you're going to get back on your feet and you will find a work again. So that's pretty much how I would do it, friends. So to summarize, if you're going through, let's say, for example, you're going through adjustment of status and you've received your EAD and your Social Security card and you were working but you got laid off because of the coronavirus, you should be pulling together evidence as we speak to prove that you are not going to become a public charge down the road. And we just went through the list of evidence that you should be gathering, and you could submit this evidence if you receive an RFE, a request for evidence about your income and assets and just more evidence to prove that you're going to be self-sufficient. You could submit this evidence along with it. Or you submit this evidence when you and your partner go in for your green card interview and you have a strong explanation for what was going on with you during your period of unemployment. So, friends, that's how you turn this negative situation into something positive to help you improve your chances of getting that green card. Thanks for watching this video. I so appreciate it. Share this with other people and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.